Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. And for the month of December, we're going to be talking about the visual arts. And I have invited one of my favorite people from the Phipps. Anastasia Shartin is here, and she's the visual arts director at the Phipps. And you know, I often talk about the Phipps, but there is an outstanding art program going there. So I want to talk about that today with Anastasia. So I hope you enjoy the interview. And I do want to say congratulations to you because you have recently won an award. And I would love to hear about that, Anastasia.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you.
Should we start with that?
Yep. It's always fun to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. This is the actual award that I received from Arts Wisconsin, and it was given to me by Arts Wisconsin in partnership with the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, and it's the 2012 Arts in the Community Award, presented to me and to the Phipps Center for the Arts for creative leadership to produce and promote what we need is here and community-based engagement and education for the St. Croix Valley community. And this was an award that I received. They gave it to me on October 17th. Went down to the Wisconsin Dells to the annual League of Wisconsin Municipalities meeting. And I think one of the reasons that I'm so very proud of this is that it really is an award that acknowledges the kind of community work and collaborative work that I enjoy so much, and that the Phipps, has been engaging in for many years now. And the other thing that's really neat is that this actually is it's a fused glass original artwork by an artist in Blue Mounds. And I want to get his name correct, so I brought my little cheat sheet. His name is Matthew Heindel. It's a Mottwork studio in Blue Mounds, Wisconsin. So
wow.
The person who received, there were 2 awards given out, and the person who received the other award, hers looked very different. It was also fused glass, but looked very different. So Arts Wisconsin kind of walks the walk and talks the talk in terms of commissioning artists to make the work that acknowledges the kind of work that we're doing to promote the arts. So
that is really very special. So it's really an original.
Yeah, it's an original work of art. Yeah. So it sits on my desk proudly.
and I love, I don't know if they could see this, but the logo at the top for Arts Wisconsin, showing the hands.
See that up there?
That is really very
Isn't
lovely
that nice?
Logo.
Yeah. So the hands, it's kind of nice because the hands make the W too.
Oh,
Wisconsin,
I see that now.
So it's kind of like coming together and the handmade and all of that. So, but the award then, again, it's for community efforts and collaborative efforts and things that really bring people together around the arts. And the project that they specifically noted is the Artful Rain Garden project.
Yes, that has been in the news and in the papers, and I do want to talk about that a little. How is that going?
Well, it was something that actually was initiated. The kernel of the idea was presented to me by 2 artists, Sheila Bergman and Carla Faith, both from the area here, who've participated in a series of seminars, What We Need Is Here seminars. Right. And the What We Need Is Here concept is really, it kind of, the title of it speaks to what it's about.
Yes.
It is that what we need is here, that this is an important place, and it's a place that we all love, and it's a place that that we want to really nurture and continue, and that the arts have a real integral role in that. And notions of sustainability as well come into this. So what is it that we need here, that we have here, that we can support and celebrate here? Right. And so these artists have been coming together. Let's see, this year we just completed our 4th year where once a month come together and explore different notions around that concept. And so they came up to me and said, for artists, if we really want to do something that makes a difference, that improves the water quality in our region, what about rain gardens? And so I kind of this light bulb went off, and I thought, ooh, artful rain gardens. Yes. And so what did actually receive a startup grant that we were able to then get it going in 2011. So in 2011, we had a big exhibition at the Phipps.
Yes.
We put in a demonstration garden at the corner of 7th and St. Croix Street.
Oh yes, I've been by that many times.
Yeah, and it's doing so well. It's really
it's sort of an area that really had nothing.
Yeah.
It was kind of an ugly area, and I love what you've done with it.
Thank you. Well, and the thing is, too, that area was identified by the city of Hudson well before the Artful Rain Garden project came about as a place to manage stormwater runoff. You may know that the Lake St. Croix, Lake Malibu, Lake St. Croix have been declared impaired waterways.
Yes, I had heard that.
Yeah, and that is primarily due to runoff and to the phosphorus and pollutants that go in. So the more that we can,
issue there.
Yes. And the more of a built environment we have, more roads, more rooftops, more driveways, and less of the permeable surfaces, the worse that situation becomes. And so rain gardens are kind of a great solution to that. I mean, a rain garden isn't going to solve the big problem, but if you put in hundreds of rain gardens that would catch the runoff that if it hadn't been in the rain garden, that they would have run into the river and created problems. So, and gardening and working with the earth and
yes,
plants
and a
is
lot of us are into that.
Yes, and it's
You've
a very
tapped
creative
into
outlet.
a large group of people there.
I think so.
And I think that's been an interest of mine for a long time.
Yeah, and it's adults, definitely. The Artful Rain Garden Project got support from the Hudson Home and Garden Club.
Yes, of which I'm a member.
And Master Gardeners and Sustain Hudson. We just also received a grant from Rotary, from the Hudson Daybreak Rotary, to do phase 2.
Oh my.
So during phase 1, we put in the demonstration garden, and then we also gave out grants to put in 10 other gardens, 6 of which in Hudson schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So phase 2, we are planning to give out more seed grants and then also be able to give a little bit of money to each of the schools so that they can further enrich their gardens. Yeah. And a rain garden is simply a garden that has a depression so that it captures water and then has plants in it with really deep root systems so that it creates the nice channels for the water to infiltrate. So a rain garden doesn't collect and keep water. A rain garden is all about collecting and filtering that water so that eventually when it gets to the water table that it's clean and doesn't have those pollutants in it.
Well, now just go back a little bit to the schools. What schools could you name as a garden we could go view or something?
Yeah, all right.
Could you tell us about that?
Of course. Well, the Hudson High School.
Yes, I thought so. Yes.
And they did a very
extensive,
very large garden. Yeah, very ambitious project back kind of behind the school.
Yes.
And that was the Sustainability Club worked on that. In particular, they were really the leaders of that, champions of it. And then the middle school also, and that's something, the middle school has their great forest and really wonderful science, environmental arts programming there.
Yes, I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah. But they had an area that just was running off and right behind the bleachers by the baseball field along that driveway there. And so they put a tiered garden in. And they are hoping to extend that even further to capture more of that water.
Good.
Rivercrest put one in. And that's a great location because it's right in the drive where when the kids go back and forth to Camp St. Croix and that underground passageway,
I've heard about that.
So they pass that garden every time that they make that trip, and also as parents and others come and drop off kids that they pass by it. So very visible. Willow River Elementary School also put one in at the playground, kind of behind and across the street. You know where the basketball court was.
I do know where you're talking.
And EP Rock put one in. It's more central, so if the school isn't open, then it's harder to access. But it's in a very accessible and very visible area for their school. And I'm forgetting another elementary school. I'm sure of it. EP Rock, Willow River, Rivercrest, Middle School, High School.
North Hudson, Holton.
North Hudson and Holton did not, although they're hoping. They're definitely
maybe
interested
they'll be included in the future.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, I should know. Prairie. Well, that's at the middle school.
Yeah. No, that wasn't the one. I think that might have been it. That might be the 5. And then there were then there were other gardens that were put in as well. So a
Right.
total of 10 in
Right.
2011.
Oh, a total of 10. Wow, that's a good goal.
Yeah, and 8 of them in Hudson. One over in Lakeland Afton, and one up on the Apple River also.
Oh, that's
So,
perfect.
yeah.
All
But
right.
this next year we'll focus on Hudson.
So you'll be continuing with that.
And I mentioned the collaboration, so the schools and the city. I mean, the city of
yes.
Hudson was so incredibly supportive and helpful. Tom Zuley,
Yes,
in particular.
he would be a great person with that because he's a gardener too.
Yeah, and he's, his initiative for, making us a
Yes.
tree city and all
Yes.
that, so it ties.
He's got a
so
lot
well.
going on, and I'm very supportive of what he's doing down there.
Yeah. Well, and the county was involved in this. Buck Malick, Clarence Malick.
Yes, he's the one that was telling me about the project
Good, yeah.
at one of the meetings.
He headed up the demonstration garden, that's for sure. So,
Yes.
So we are hopeful. As I said, we have an initial grant from Hudson Daybreak Rotary to continue the project.
Wonderful.
And we're just like little engine that could.
And now you're going to
pulling it
have
all
more and
together,
more,
so,
and it's all going to benefit
Yeah.
the community and the art. Everything you're doing is just a plus
Thanks.
for the community.
Yeah, and we've gotten so many youth involved, teens, Youth Action Hudson, but Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and
Oh, good.
so it's intergenerational and
I love it.
everything. So interdisciplinary, all the things that I just love and
Perfect.
kind of excite me.
And
so.
it's such a good teaching project.
Yeah, I think so.
Very good.
That's part of this next year is that one thing we don't have yet in any of these gardens is signage, anything that says
Oh, yeah,
what this is.
that's
So
right.
it's kind of phase 2 is
That
like,
could
all
be
right,
coming up.
what do we want to tell people when they come here?
That's true. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So that'll continue.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
Excellent.
looking forward to that in this upcoming year and
Good
then
for
years to
you.
come. So I think it has a lot of promise to, put art into action.
Yeah.
So bring
Yeah, and
people
I think
together.
that's, like art is for everyone, and just like music, I'm always saying that.
Yes.
And I think the more people you can involve, the better. And there's a lot of interest in this program.
Yeah. Well, and it is the thing that kind of, where I deeply believe that the arts are a way of bringing people together. And active participation is, that thing that kind of makes the glue. I mean, it's
That's
wonderful
right.
to be a part of an audience and to be enjoying, a performance and or an exhibition and to be a part that way. And I support that, of course, and that's, the bulk of what I spend my time doing. But I think in opportunities that you can find to really engage people and bring out their creativity, everyone has a creative spirit. And so the more we can bring that out in people, I think the richer all of our lives are individually and then as a community as well. And
I agree with you totally. I think the arts are so important to all ages.
I think so.
So you've really tapped into something here, and this is great.
Thank you.
So what else is going on with you? I know you're not just sitting there doing exhibits because you're busy all the time.
Right. Well, we do have FIPS. We have an active schedule of exhibitions.
yes.
So there's always an exhibition to see, and our galleries are free and open to the public. And so I encourage people to come by and see our shows. If even you're just walking downtown, come and take a look, or you're coming and seeing a show. So we have some great exhibitions that are coming up as well. It's all regional artists, and so that's something I think that's also exciting. That it's people from our area,
Very nice.
Locally, regionally, kind of a 100-mile radius is generally what we say.
So is that what's going on for December? Because this show's going to air in December.
Yeah, well, in December, right now, let's see, we just had an opening on Friday night of a new exhibition. And, and
so we do have a new
series
one.
of shows, a really good series of shows.
Well, then I haven't been to it yet.
All Mixed Media, you have not?
No.
You have not, but you will really love it. There's interesting kind of sculptural constructions that are really referencing the land and landscape in Gallery 1. Gallery 2, that's Cameron Zebrin, who's a Twin Cities artist.
Okay.
Gallery 2 is Mary Jo Vandell, who's a Stillwater artist with her paintings, paired with pottery by Peter Jadenuth, who's a Twin Cities artist. That's a beautiful pairing. Anders Schaefer from, I think he's from La Crosse, but I don't want to say that because it could be Menominee. But I'm forgetting exactly where he's from. But he's a painter, figurative painting, and there's sequential art, so there's stories within the painting.
Oh, my.
And then Brenda Brousseau from the Twin Cities, who's a bead artist, has these headdresses that are whimsical, colorful, rich, and technically unbelievable in their construction. And then we have a show of called Time on Paper, 10 contemporary Minnesota book artists. And that's a little gem of a show in the Atrium Gallery. So
Very nice.
I encourage everyone to come see that.
Great. Well, I definitely will be there.
Yeah, we change shows around. Exhibitions are up for about 5 or 6 weeks each. So there's always something new to come and see there.
I knew that you changed every so often, but I couldn't remember if it was the month of December. So that's perfect that you're in here today.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. So that's in the galleries, and of course, classes and all that. But
oh yeah, the classes are
pottery program and
ongoing.
Summer art camp and painting classes and drawing classes. And,
right.
Lots of opportunities.
And we should mention the gift by the hand.
Yes, our holiday
Gift
sale.
shop.
Yep, over 40.
Yes, that's
artists.
ongoing.
Yep, that is, and the gift shop is ongoing. There's always work in the gift gallery,
but especially right now, it's a
Yes.
great time to visit there.
yes, it is. It is.
All right.
Yeah, but probably the biggest effort that's upcoming is the Art Bench Trail. I don't know if you want me to talk about that.
Yes, because I don't really know what it is.
Okay. Well,
And I think it's pretty recent.
It is pretty recent now. Earlier this year, we received a grant from the Kresge Foundation.
Oh, wow.
$75,000 grant from the Kresge Foundation.
Wonderful.
In order for us to, it's a multi-year grant, so the idea is that in the spring of 2014, we will unveil an Art Bench Trail.
Oh,
And the Art Bench Trail will be an effort to connect the bench projects that have been created throughout the Lower St. Croix Valley.
I know about that.
Yeah, so we have 7 benches that are currently up. And then over the course of the next 2 years, we hope to, and we're making efforts to put 3 new benches in, so that in the spring of 2014, there'll be 10 benches. And the Art Bench Trail will involve having signage at each of the benches so that you know you're at a bench project and you know that it is connecting to others. And then also have some sort of a website that will have much more information and a brochure and ads and articles and really get people excited about traveling through the valley with these art benches as their destinations.
Very good.
Yeah.
So there's several in Hudson.
There's one in Hudson.
There's one.
Yes, there are 7 altogether. They are in St. Croix Falls,
Oh, yes.
Somerset, Hudson, and Prescott, Wisconsin, Marine on St. Croix, Bayport, and Hastings, Minnesota currently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's a lot more ground covered than I had thought.
Yes.
So you've got benches all over there.
Yeah.
And then are you going to expand out more or add more to that area?
We're adding more within that area. So really
that's
the lower
perfect.
St. Croix. Yeah.
So you're kind of following the river.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And this project really is tied to the river. It really is. It's
great.
We mentioned talked about the Artful Rain Gardens as being community art and that hands-on. Well, the bench project, that's the impetus behind those completely, that they are meant to be very community created, that we have a facilitating artist who helps to make the project happen, somebody who knows how to use the materials that we're using. Each bench is unique. We have mosaic benches. We have benches where the tiles were created by hand and then mosaicked onto the bench. We have a bench that's made out of stone with bronze sculpture attached to it. We have a bench that's stone with etched carvings into it. And then, let's see, that's kind of and a poured concrete bench. So each one is unique.
Oh, my.
But the thing that connects them all is, first of all, the process. As I mentioned, very community-based, very grassroots, very collaborative. So each bench is the result of a collaboration among a number of nonprofit organizations and community organizations with youth participation.
Yes, yes.
And that's really what makes it
So,
real magic.
so who actually does the design?
It really comes
work
through,
together, I
exactly.
suppose.
They work together. We choose artists kind of based on each artist for the artist for each project is chosen in large part because of their connection, perhaps, to that particular place and or their expertise in a particular material that we know that group is going to be working with.
That would be difficult if you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, yeah. But it is, you know, kind of traditional or standard practice for public art would be that an artist makes a design and then finds the partners perhaps to put it in. Now there's nuances there, of course, but what we really have tried to do, and this is a project that the Phipps and the St. Croix Valley Foundation have partnered on since 2006.
Right.
Our first bench was put in 2006. What we wanted to do is kind of put that on its head so that the design and the ideas and the kind of messages or information or concepts to be communicated really came through shared experiences with a group of participants from the local community, including the artist in that process. And sort of through that whole process, whether it's kind of a series of meetings and experiences, or we did one that was a 2-week summer art, not a summer art camp, a 2-week summer school class. Different ways that they happen, but lots of different people involved, and so each one is very unique. And the idea with the Art Bench Trail is that by directing people to go to these various places, first of all, they can see these unique works of art and enjoy that and learn about kind of what is unique to that place, learn about the people who worked on this, what they wanted people to know about their community, and even the selection of the place itself. You know, that you're directing people to sit here, spend some time here. This is an interesting place to be.
That's something that we need.
Yeah, and the bench is a place where you're inviting more than one. You know, it's a place to gather. So that's the idea behind it.
And I'm pretty sure it's not too far from the Phipps, and it's in Lakefront.
Exactly, Lakefront. The one in Hudson.
Close to the band shell.
The one in Hudson is right near the playground, right, kind of adjacent to the boat launch.
Oh, yes, yes.
And the lead artist on that was Lynn Jermal.
Oh, yes.
Recently passed away
this
year. So
sad.
Yeah, so
she was a professor at UWRF.
Yeah, with incredible talent for working with community. And
well, that is very special. She did that project.
It is. And you know, at her retirement celebration, she had a big poster of it up. So I know it's something that really was dear to her heart, and she got a lot out of too. And
well, that's great.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. That will be taking a lot of my time and energy over these next couple of years, because it means that we'll be re-engaging all of these communities, bringing people together. I've put together a database of everyone who was involved in each project.
Oh, really?
And it gets to like hundreds of people involved in these 7 projects.
Just think.
Yeah, and then many more now will, become involved in these next 3, and then you've got this layer of the tourism piece of it, of connecting all of these. We really too want for people that when they go to these communities that they know about what else there is there. So connecting with the Chamber of Commerce, connecting with other, museums or such in these places. So it's going to be a real effort to, at this point, really focus on making those connections. What are the things, what can we connect people to? How can we connect people to the resources? What's already out there that we want to connect people to? And so that's kind of that guiding principle that we'll be
That's wonderful, and you
on.
involve so many people, and they're all working for one common goal. And to me, it's just a dream project.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, wonderful.
It's so, a bench is such a humble thing, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so simple and so humble, and yet because of that, I think it's able, through the process, we're able to make something pretty wonderful. out of
Yes.
it. You know what I mean?
is.
Because you can't, like you were saying, you've got this shared goal.
Yes.
It's a pretty simple goal. Let's make a bench, you know? But how you go about doing that and who you do that with and where you put that and, you know, who you invite, you know, to come and share that with you. That's really where
I think
all the magic happens.
that's if you could invent a project, this would be it. And to think that you've gotten the grant now so you can continue with it. How exciting.
I know. I'm very excited.
Yes.
A little overwhelmed, but very excited.
So when will you be starting with that
Well,
contact? Soon or in the
yeah.
summer? Or?
The groundwork is being laid.
Okay.
Again, I mentioned that I'm working very closely with the St. Croix Valley Foundation, Jill Shannon
Oh, yes.
at the St. Croix Valley
Yes.
Foundation.
Oh, they are wonderful.
Yes. And she's been a champion of the bench project from the beginning.
Oh, my.
And then Julie
Great.
Galanska from the St. Croix Scenic National Park.
Oh,
I know I've got that name wrong, but she's the Director of Education for the
Oh,
National
okay.
Park Service here.
Oh, my.
You
I don't know that
probably
name,
know
so.
that the St. Croix River is a national park.
Yes.
You know that.
I know it's
so-
a national waterway,
Yeah.
and we really need to preserve
Yeah.
what we have.
So the three of us have kind of started to
Good.
lay the groundwork, and we'll be kind of keep just building that, and then really kind of start laying it out in the spring, and then we'll have a full year to kind of nurture that along and make all the
That's going
plans
to be
happen.
very exciting. You're going to be spending a lot of time on that.
Yes.
And what if somebody's watching the show today and wants to get involved?
Ooh, give me a
They
call.
contact you at the
Of
FIPS?
course. Yeah.
Any of the
course.
numbers?
Yep. Want me to give our numbers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well.
Our phone number is 715-386-2305. And then there's info@thefips.org is just a great
yes.
a great email address to, and then
Right.
Teddy Stone, you know.
Oh, yeah, the
sits at our front
secretary's
desk.
fabulous.
She takes that. She receives
Does
those
it
and
all.
then gets them to the right people and is always on top of it. So
Yes.
yeah.
So
yeah.
in case somebody's watching, they want to get involved.
Please.
I think that would
please.
be great.
Definitely. There's so many ways to get involved at the FIPS, I've got to say. And
Great project.
well, the project itself, yes, but even, if you look at the FIPS as a whole, we're a very small staff. And when each year we tally up the volunteer hours and,
Oh, right.
it's, over I think it's like 10, 20, I can't remember the number now, of full-time staff people that volunteer effort, so it takes us from a staff of 7 up to, a staff of 30 with our volunteer
Oh, yeah,
hours. So
easily. Easily.
we couldn't exist without community support.
I know it's massive, but I haven't been there for a couple years, so I don't recall the numbers either. But I'm always astounded
Yeah.
when they tell people at the meeting.
It is
at the
unbelievable.
little celebration you have every year. It's just a wonderful thing, and for our town to have that thriving art center, which is promoting so many things.
I know.
And I mean,
agree.
it's just it's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I think
you.
your whole staff is wonderful.
Yeah. Oh,
And it really works.
yeah. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. That's
And
nice
is
of you to
there
say.
anything else you're thinking about in the future? Or, I'd like to just say that you've done so many things in the past as well. And I just have to mention the Healing Arts program.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
It's outstanding.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
So if you go up to the Hudson Hospital, and I've been up there on many occasions,
Yeah.
and tell a little bit about that.
Sure, of course. It's a collaboration with Hudson Hospital, and it actually was initiated. Marion Furlong, the CEO there, approached the FIPS and said, when they were building the building, and still in the design phases of it, and said, would the FIPS want to work on an art program there? And so we got a group together, the Visual Arts Council at the FIPS, and at the Kendall Hicks, who was working at the hospital at the time.
Right.
And together we kind of formulated this healing arts program. And the idea is that it's kind of based on what we do in the galleries at the FIPS, and that it's all regional artists, all original work, and rotating exhibitions.
Yes.
So there are permanent. The hospital is building a permanent collection too.
Oh, okay.
So there is work that has been commissioned there is work that, is owned by the hospital that
see.
gets put on view too. But the main focus is to have changing, rotating exhibitions.
Yes.
So what was lovely is that at the time, and this was back in like 2002, 2003, my son was born in 2003, and during my maternity leave, I came to help install the first exhibition.
Oh, really?
And he was the first baby to cry in the maternity wing.
Oh,
even though
my goodness.
There were no nurses or doctors around, but I like to say that.
You have to put that in his baby book.
Yes, it's in there. It's in there.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So
That's neat.
So the thing I think that's great about it is that we were really involved in the conversation as the
Right.
hospital was being designed, and as the design of it was being worked out. And so there was a thought, and a consideration going both ways. So at the time, what we did is we just looked at the floor plan and we kind of divided it up into sections. And so art rotates on a calendar kind of schedule, so that that there's one, maybe 2 or 3 areas that rotate at a given time, but it's not the whole hospital. That's all new art. Margaret Welshons is a healing arts coordinator, and if she had to do that, she would really lose her wits. But she is
so
wonderful.
great at it.
She is so great at it.
And she promotes it so well.
I know. We're very, very lucky to have her. I mean, she has an arts background, but also a nursing background.
Oh, that's true. So
she
really sees the whole picture then.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you have the projects that you've done that are like outside, the permanent and the sculpture.
Yes, right.
And the birdhouses.
Right.
And then I think about the maze.
Yes, I know.
So when I go up there, there's many areas to visit.
I know.
And I think about the people that are there. Mm-hmm. And for, a lot of times they're waiting and they're stressed.
Yeah.
And so it really is a healing art.
Yeah. Well, and what was interesting about it, what we kind of learned within the first couple of years really, is that when we were conceptualizing the project, we identified patients and their visitors as kind of the primary audiences, and knew that it would be impactful for the staff. But it's very impactful for the staff. And you can imagine for your working environment to be refreshed and renewed, periodically, and that there's something new to look at, something, something different than, your work to talk to your fellow staff members about, to talk to patients about. Mm-hmm. And so Margaret and I actually went, this is a good... as I said, about a couple years, 2 or 3 years into the project, that we went and presented a paper at a conference, the Healing Arts Conference. Yeah, and that was kind of our presentation, is that as enriching and as meaningful and positive as that is for patients and staff and visitors, it really has been meaningful to the staff. So it's kind of a neat part of it.
Everybody can really participate in that, and when you think of the people that are there on a daily or weekly basis, and then it's ever changing. And just recently I was visiting someone in a room and I looked out and there's the birdhouse.
The bird
and
feeders.
It's so neat for someone who's ill to have something like that to think about. And just it's a wonderful program, and to think that you were the first ones.
Well, I mean, definitely
pretty much
the idea.
To do it.
Yeah, the idea of having art in a healing environment is something that I mean, there is an international organization, so we by no means were the first. But what we found that was very unique about what we were doing is that it was original art and rotating. That kind of a thing, and on top of that it's throughout the hospital. So there are many places that would have art in a waiting room or have art in a particular corridor or such, but to really have it be in the procedure rooms and bringing that, and really having it be very important that it's original art. That's where we found in what we sort of surveyed at the time was unique. And since that time, though, and many of the kind of regional hospitals here that have developed over the course of the past, 8 to 10 years, they've come to visit Hudson Hospital and have in their own ways kind of
Yes.
modeled their programming so that
Oh,
it gives great
interesting.
opportunities for artists, regional,
Yes.
Rural artists to be showing.
Mhm.
So it's
So that is
win-win
just
all around.
an outstanding program up there.
Thank you. Do you know too that that program, so we have the hospital, but then Croydale, a senior housing center in Bayport,
Yes,
they
I know about
approached
that.
us soon after that, and so I think it's been a good 5 or 6 years now that we have been similarly rotating original art
really?
through, we call it the Enriching Arts Program. And so there are 3 different areas in there, very public. It's people live there, so we wanted to make it, we wouldn't put things in their homes and their apartments, but
Right.
but in the very public areas. And Croydale has really embraced that. Their memory care unit, they take little art tours every now and again.
Oh,
and
good.
and Mary Jo Ducklow, their activities director there, has brought many artists in to come and give talks and do demonstrations. And so it's another way in which art is kind of impacting people's lives in the
Good.
valley.
And it's right across the river near Bayport.
Yes, right in Bayport.
One of my
yeah.
favorite places.
Yeah, cool little town.
I love that town. It's just such a beautiful location too.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's a very wonderful thing, and I think it's definitely long-reaching effects.
Yeah.
And it's just, I've always been so impressed with it, and I think that's really neat when people come over here and they ask you about it, and
I know.
and then you get to teach them too.
Yeah, exactly.
So wonderful. One of the best things that has come out of the FIPS.
Yeah, I am very
I
proud of it. Yeah, and the fact the hospital has been such a great partner. I mean, they have really,
Good.
they just, as I said, they initiated the idea and then just nurtured and embraced it. So we've got a great partnership
Wonderful.
going there. Yeah.
Well, I think this has just gone in a great direction. I've enjoyed getting caught up and
Good.
and
Thank
sort of
you.
updating what I know about the art program there, because it is one of my favorite things to do.
Thank you. Well, have you been to the library recently too? Do you know that
I have.
we're also we've
I
started
have. You
working
should
with the
mention
library?
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're kind of taking advantage. We've got this cultural corridor going on down along the river front.
And you're right next door now,
Right
just
next
across the
door.
street, so it's
Exactly.
perfect.
Right.
So are you actually doing little exhibits there then?
Yeah, we have 3 different areas that the library installed a walker display system
Oh, yes.
on, so that we don't have to punch holes in their walls.
Yes, I heard about that.
And we really tried to. The Visual Arts Council came together and met with folks from the library as well, and we really wanted something that, again, like I said, would kind of take advantage of the fact that we had these 2, great organizations, right there, and then also to encourage people to take advantage of each. So
Yes.
at the library, we've invited artists who have exhibits at the FIPS at that time to bring an extra piece or 2.
Oh,
display
that's
at the
how you're
library.
doing it.
And artists have been very excited about that. I mean, having, this great, a very broad audience in that way, and a way to not only kind of enhance, the library, which is a beautiful building, beautiful facility.
Yes. Oh, you couldn't ask for a better facility.
I know.
And then to add the artwork to it.
Yeah.
That's very important, I
It's
think.
been really nice. It's
Really?
just really worked out very well. Good support from the library in terms of that. I mean, we're
Good.
there,
Good.
hanging art, moving art up and down, once
So I
every
imagine
6
there's
weeks
quite a
or
few
so. And
levels over there. So do you get into all those levels, or how do you do it?
we have the wall that's right across from the circulation desk.
Oh, okay.
That is the other side of it is the police department.
Yes.
So that's a prominent wall, and then a wall that's at the end of the computer section there. So
Yes.
it's got a great sight line
Oh, good.
down there. And then the
Good.
conference room upstairs. So that a nice long
right.
wall. And then there's also the shelf there so we can have 3-dimensional work on display. So
And I have to mention, the Women's Club donated a piece of art,
that's right.
which is up there by the store, but out in the book area.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is a lovely local artist
Yes.
piece.
Yes.
Jeanette
That's right.
Richards.
That's right.
And
Very nice
we are
piece.
very proud of that, too.
You should be.
So
Very nice
that
piece.
is another thing that, well, the Women's Club promotes the arts.
Yeah.
And of course, the Garden Club is involved in many different things, too.
Yes.
So, I mean, it all beautifies our city.
Yeah. Well, and there's so
lucky
many.
we are to be here.
Exactly. And I think that there's so many tie-ins. I mean,
Yes.
you know, the FIPS is the meeting place for these groups.
For both
and
of those
I think
clubs.
That, yeah,
and,
and
you
the
know, a lot of
clubs-
us just, I don't know what we do without the FIPS.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't we lucky?
We are very lucky. Very lucky.
Honestly, it's
And I think an anniversary is coming up too. So I know what that means. A
Yeah.
lot more organizing
Yeah,
and
a
work
lot
is
more
going to go
work.
toward that. And isn't it a big one?
35th, I believe.
I think it
If I've got
is.
my numbers going. So
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be some really interesting programming that will develop around that.
Good.
We're still in conversation, so nothing ready to make any announcements about, but all of the different councils, you know, the FIPS is,
Oh,
is
yes.
a multidisciplinary.
And, you know, I'm involved
and
on
so-
the music one, so.
Good.
And I remember going back a few years where we did some very innovative things. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen
Yeah.
this time. Is it a couple years off?
No, it's coming up right around the
Oh,
corner.
yes, 1 year.
It's
You're
yeah,
right. I
so
think it's
the
2013.
2013 to 2014
That's
season.
right, because
yeah.
I'm thinking 83.
Yeah. Yep.
That is what I'm thinking, but I don't know if that's right.
So 30. So that'd be 30 then.
That'd be
Am I
30
right?
though.
30. Okay.
Well, we'll have to check into that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you're going to be very busy.
yes, I'm going to be very busy
You get
regardless.
very involved with all of that.
yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for all you do there.
Oh, thank
Well, anything else? This is a wonderful conversation. I'm getting all caught up.
I know. Good. Well,
And I really hope that it's going to inspire people to go and attend some of these things and get involved.
yeah, I hope so.
I love
hope
that.
so, yeah. I mean, there is never a dull moment at the FIPS. There's never a lack of ways to get involved. There's
I have to laugh because I think back to when Garrison Keillor came there. One of
That
the
was before my time,
One of the
yeah.
openings.
Okay.
Well, one of the opening events was Garrison Keillor.
Okay.
And I think Pat Boone was even there.
Wow.
And, you know, it was just astounding how it all started with that big kickoff.
Yeah, yeah.
And how much we've grown and you've expanded the building and everything is just,
I know.
it's one of my favorite places.
Well, and what I love is that, you know, I work with so many different artists over the course, you know, of a year. You know, we have 10 exhibitions, and at least 8 of those have you know, 5 to 7 artists in them, and then the others have many, many more artists in them. Some of our group shows, but what I love is when an artist who hasn't been to the FIPS before comes,
Oh, wow.
and they walk in and they say, "Wow, I had no idea. This is beautiful. What a great facility. How lucky Hudson
That
is."
nice to hear.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
So, you know, and once they make that trip, then yeah, they tend to be pretty loyal fans, and that's
great.
nice. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so it's a venue for that too.
truly.
And that's the beauty of it all.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting me, Bobby.
And
I
just
really
looking
appreciate
ahead
it.
to December and the next year is very exciting in all your projects.
Yeah, thank you.
And I hope that all of you enjoyed watching the show today. And if you have any questions, give a call to the FIPS or you can contact me. And I would just like to say happy holidays. Hope you can attend some of the concerts. Some of them will be playing on this very channel. And I do get lots of comments, so I like to hear from you. Thanks for watching.